Good day, everyone. Let's start. Let's start, please. Please, I need to be sure if you are still there. If you are still there, can you just give a hi? Say something so that I know that you are still there. Hello, Job, are you still there? Adeshina, are you there? Gladys, are you there? Olumide is no longer here now. All right, let's start, please. All right, the first thing, this is what we stopped in that first semester. First semester, we looked at, we started with variable. We started with variable. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? All right. We started with variables. We looked at the various type of variables and we'll pick examples in variables. All right, we'll pick examples in variables and we try to look at the various things that you can use your variable to do. Okay, so we move further to container, whereby we look at the list, the tuples, the set, and the dictionary. Set and dictionary. Please unmute your mic. Olumide, unmute your mic. Mute your mic. All right. Then we look the dictionary and sets. We ended that with sets. So we also went to the loop statements in Python, conditional statement, and we end that class with conditional statement, whereby I now give you guys project to do. So quickly today we are going straight into Python GUI, whereby we now look at how do you link your application to a database, how do you run your application on a GUI environment. A GUI is just like a window. When a window open and you press a button or you use a button to do one or two things in your application. That's what we call GUI in programming. Okay, so what we are going to be doing right now, you're going to create a new file. Those of you that have a system, all right, you can't use your laptop, your phone, but if you think you can use your phone, fine. So you're going to create a new file. So I'm going to call this file Python GUI. GUI, you remember the extension is going to be .py. All right, so we have something like this there. Now, before you start your GUI in Python, you have to install a module. We said in our last semester that Python is built in different modules. Okay, in different modules, which are also libraries for you to use to build your applications. So one of the libraries that we are using here, that library is called Ticking Time. So you can go and read about it. All right, but I'm going to use that to build our first GUI that we are going to see together. Then I'll give you guys something to work on your own after this class. I'm not going to take much of your time because we are not much on this call. So for you to install that module, if you are installing a module in a VS Code environment in a PyCharm, because we said we can also use PyCharm as our IDE, you can use a VS Code as your ID. So if you are using those environments, you need to there's something called pipe, and pipe means a Python integrated package. All right, Python integrated package is actually a package manager for Python. So it enables you to install libraries that are not already in your system before. All right, for example, when we build that gaming application for semester that we use a random module, you notice that I did not install any module. I said import a random, and I make use of rand int in that particular application. Okay, but this ticking time is not coming with your Python. It's not coming with your Python when you install your Python. So you have to install it in your code editor, your VS Code or your Python that you are using for your code editor. Please, are you with me? Can you with me? Can you hear me? Hope you guys can hear me. Okay. So for you to install that, for you to install not just only this module, every other module in Python, you need to pass in what the pipe. The next keyword that will come is what is install. So you are looking at pipe install. All right, you are looking at pipe install. Then you call your what, your module. Please ensure you are internet enabled when you are running this. So you are calling pipe install, you call your module. Okay, I will drop this on the message so that you can copy it, so that, or if you want to write it somewhere, you know this is what you are writing somewhere. I'm dropping it on the chat box. So you are going to run pipe install tk, all right, on your terminal. Pipe install what, tk on your terminal. So when you run pipe install tk on your terminal, I already have it in this system, okay, because if I try to run it again, you tell me that already what exists. All right, you can see that it's trying to load pipe package manager, but it's going to tell me that it's going to fail because I've already installed it on this system. So it's not going to be allowed. But let's see. If you type pipe install tk, the next thing, press enter, your cursor, your terminal will be blinking somewhere to come down, meaning that it's running. All right, it's running. So the terminal is actually running, but I think my internet is not strong enough. Someone is joining. So make sure you are using your command prompt. Make sure you are using command prompt. So because I notice the PowerShell is not strong enough. So we just type pipe install tk to install that library. You press your enter. So when you press your enter, ensure your system is having a strong internet. There's internet is connected to online, so that it will go to the internet and will look for the tk library and it will be installed into your into your system. All right, it is called Town. All right, but the abbreviation is tk. The name is Town, but the abbreviation is what, is tk. Okay, the terminal is still running. Probably my internet is not strong enough, but I've already installed it on this my particular machine. Okay, you can see that is coming up now. I've already installed it on this particular machine. So when the initialization is complete, it will fail because it will tell me that it's already, you can see it already was satisfied. Requirement already was satisfied, so I don't need to install it. For you guys that will be installing the first time, by the time you run this pipe install tk, it will be fully installed. And another thing I want to quickly you guys know is this: you need to also press be sure that Python is in your system. I want to do something. You mean be sure that Python is in your root directory, okay, is in your operating system. All right, because when you install it for the install Python, some system may not see it. So when you come here, always type, make sure you type Python first. All right, make sure you type Python first. When you type Python first, if Python is in your system, it will load it and tell you, okay, you can see that Python is on this system. But if Python is not on this system, it will lead you to your Windows store, your Microsoft store, whereby you're going to what, install it directly. Then after that, it will allow you to run your what, your pipe what install. Now after you've done your pipe install, the next thing for you to check if actually pipe is accessible in your program, the next thing for you to do is to just type in what, pipe. All right, if this terminal open now, what I will do, I'll just type in pipe. Okay, I'll just type in pipe, just put pipe here. If somebody is joining, let's accept the person. All right, so let's continue, please. Please, if you are just joining, make sure you mute your mic. Okay, so we'll just type in pipe. All right, when you type in pipe and press enter, now it will give you you can see what is bringing out. It will bring out all the package that your system is ready to be used, is ready to make use of pipe. You can see all the terminal that you need to run: pipe install, download, uninstall, freeze. All those are probably I want to uninstall a particular library. I'll just type pipe uninstall. Maybe I want to freeze something. I pipe what freeze, pipe shows, pipe config, pipe cache, pipe wheel and hash. All those things are what you make use of. All right, now if you have satisfied the requirements of your GUI window, the first thing we need to know now is how do we bring it into our environment. So I'm going to demonstrate 3 methods of bringing this thing into your environment. Then you now choose your preferred. Then I'll tell you why one is better than the other. Now remember, in the course of our first semester we look at module and how to import was some settings functions or settings classes or setting features from a module into another module. And I told you that if you want to do that, you use your import keyword, right? If you're importing a module that you want to make use in a Python environment, you must use the import keyword or verb. Okay, if you say import tick in town, all right, meaning who is this person? Or you said import tick in town, all right, meaning you have imported all the libraries, okay, everything that is inside your ticket that you have installed. So you use your import keyword, okay, import tick in town. So the next thing is to declare your root. The next thing is to declare your root, which I normally called master. So I'm going to call this my root. Is a keyword. It doesn't not really matter. If I say root, okay, equals to tick in town, because I have said import tick in town dot tk. All right. So the next thing for me to do is for me to activate my environment. So that's going to be root dot main loop. All right. So these parameters are very, very important in your Python environment, in your GUI. These guys there. Now this root.main loop is actually a method. In that our class, when we deal with function, we talked about method. We say method are built-in functions, and you identify a method with a bracket open and close in front of them. Like this tk is also a method in ticking town, and this tk is you initializing your master. So if you run this application, just click on this play, you will see something will pop up on your window. Something will pop up on my window now. It's trying to initialize. All right, you see this guy up here. Can we all see it? Hello, can you see what appeared on my window? Please, I need you to respond. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you see what pop up on my window?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what is called GUI. Okay, but I'm going to be adding other features on that so that we'll be seeing how you can beautify your environment. Okay, so let's go back to our application environment. So this is what we call GUI. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I want to add some functionality to my environment. I can just increase the size. So if you want to increase the size, you always call your master, or which is the window. So if you say the other method that Thinkitan has is your geometry. When you call your master.geometry, it accepts 4 parameters. It accepts the size of your window, the position of your window. So the size of window take 2, while the position of your window take another 2. So for example, I want to increase the size of that window to, let me say, in a mobile application size, let's say 500 by what, 700. So if you try to run your application again, you will notice that it is bigger than the way it was what, before. So it's still, you can see it here, it is now bigger than the way it is before. This is a mobile what, screen. All right. So if peradventure you don't want a mobile screen, you are building for a desktop application, you can see 1000 by what, 1000. So 1000 by 1000 will give you what, a bigger what, window. All right. 1000 by 1000 will give you a bigger what, window. It's still loading. So you can see this one is bigger than the way the other one is before. So this one is like a square, but at least it's a bigger window. So but let's leave it as 500 by what, 700. 500 by 700. So now what you are going to call next, peradventure you want, as this thing is running, you can see that you are seeing TK on top of your terminal there. You are seeing something called TK on top here. So sometimes you can see TK here. Sometimes you may want to put the title of your application. All right, probably your application is a hospital management application. You can type it there. So what you need to call is your root. Remember that root I said is very important when you initialize with your TK. Your root dot title. You can call root dot title. So you pass the title of your application. Let's say my application is introduction, sorry, to Python GUI. Introduction to Python GUI. So if you run this now, what's going to pop out on the top of the bar there is going to be introduction to Python or GUI. You can see it here. Instead of TK now, you have overwrite it to the name of your application. So now the next thing for you to take note now, this is method 1 of bringing your Python into your environment. Are we good? Please, any question? Please, any question? Hello? GUI. GUI means graphic user interface. Graphics user interface. So it is application that has interaction, drag and drop with the user is what we call GUI. So Python also has that. So that's what we are trying to look at. Any other question? Any other question, please? Can I continue? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. If you have any question, please always ask. All right, identify yourself and what, ask your question as we proceed. All right, the next thing we are going to be looking at is another method of bringing this. Then I will now tell you the best practice to use. So I'm going to comment this guy out. I'm going to comment this bash out. So let's look at another bash. So another bash of bringing your ticket time to your environment is using your from keyword, or you can use a name alias. So let me use name alias first. If I said import ticking turn as any name, but what professional use, okay, they use TK. If I say import ticking turn as TK, now look at name alias. Name alias means instead of me to call ticking turn, I can just call what, TK. You can see this example. I have to call ticking turn before I call this TK. This TK here is a method. So if I say import ticking turn as TK, if I do my initialization, let's say I say parent, so let me use that so that you get to understand better. Parent, I'll have to call TK dot what? TK. Do you get it? So the next thing I will call now is going to be parents, all right? Parent dot what? Main words loop. This is a method. It has to have bracket open and close. If you run this, you'll see be in a very good shape. Your application window is still going to what? Trigger itself out. Look at it. So you can do your configuration on like all those root.title, root.geometry to get the size. Okay, I can copy this and drop this guy here. So if I copy this one and drop this one here, instead of geometry now, it's going to be what, parents. All right, so I just changed it to parents so that you should know that it not always going to be what, roots. It is, it can be anything, but know that that is your application what window. Okay, now this is method what 2. All right, the method 2 is import taking term as what, tk. So when you are using tk, whenever you are calling your widget, you must call your what, your tk. Okay, so the third method, hope I can continue. The third method is importing everything that is inside your word ticking term. So if I said that one is using from ticking term, okay, imports asterisk. From ticking term import asterisk. Now this from ticking term or import asterisk in programming means everything. So what this guy is doing is that we are importing every function, every class, okay, every dictionary that is inside ticking term. Now when we are looking at our module, okay, I told you guys about a method called di arrow, and we said that di arrow is to give the directories that is available, the functions, all the features that is available in a particular what, library. Okay, I'm going to bring that later, but let me finish this third method. Now from taking time import, now you are importing everything, but we programmers will normally advise guys that this is not actually advisable. The reason is because of for security what reasons, because you have succeeded importing some things that you are not using in the course of your application. So from ticking time import what, asterisk. So I can say, okay, let me use root as my parent. Root equals to, now another beauty of this, now instead of you to be saying tk.tk, you don't need to do that. You don't need to call your method straight tk. All right, then the next thing you need to call is your what, your root dot what, main what, loop. Your root dot what, main loop. By the time you run this application, a window is going to pop out in your what, for your user to what, to see. You can see the guy there too. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do here, let me just copy these people here. Let me copy this guy here. All right, so I think I'm good now. So you can see that window will still be what, will still pop out good and what, fine. All right, I want to okay, you can see the window still pop out good and fine. Now let me say something here. Let me quickly come back here, since I said from this one, from import what, tick in town, so that you go to see something that is going to come up. But let me comment this on. Now if I say print, I use my print statement here, print di arrow. All right, print di arrow, I now say okay, oh, tick in time. So let me use that to explain something that will pop out there. So by the time you run this one will try to load, but I don't want it to load. Let me comment it out. I'll come back there. So you see on your terminal, you're going to see a giant string. You can look at the giant string that pop out on the terminal. So what this thing is showing us is telling you the classes, the function, the variables, everything that is available for you to make use of in your word ticking time. You can see you can make use of anchor method, arc method, baseline, beaver boot, bottom, all of these, get double, get int, image names, image type, main loop. You can see the main loop here. So this main loop is what make your application to what, to pop out, for it to what, to come up. Default root, destroy temp root, and stuff like that. All right, so dir is a method that gives you access to what, to that. So let's comment this one back. Let's come back to that. So now let's come back here. From ticking town, import words asterisk. Okay. So let's see. Good. So now we are still good, but I was just trying to check why this thing is giving me this, but it's still fine. TK is not defined. Probably because I passes something up there. So let me rename it TK. So let me just remove all of this. So we are going to follow this method, this guy here, this last one. All right. I'm going to follow this method because I may want to use many things inside this my thinking town word environment. Let me just ignore it. Add from tiki town. Okay. Okay. All right. From tiki town, import tiki. All right. So now the next thing I'm going to do is this. Let's do some formatting to our application. I want to change the background color of my application. Okay. What you are going to call, you call it your master dot config, your master dot what config. Okay, your master dot config. The next thing is your words. Now when you call your master dot config, inside the bracket there is take it and call it what options. Options can come in there. For example, your bg means what background color. Okay, so you have there are other things that can come in here, like BG. I'm not seeing BG here, but let me see what this guy is going to pop out. BG, let's say red. No, red is very, very awkward. Let me say purple. So if I run this, so the background will become what? Purple. The background will turn to what? Purple. You can see this is now a purple color. I can actually change the color to wherever I want. And you can make use of hexadecimal. We said hexadecimal is using what? Your hashtag. If I call hexadecimal color, you know hexadecimal color has 6 combination, either 6 combination or 3 combination. If I say 5, 5, 4, and E, then 5, 6 what E. This is a particular color in hexadecimal, but I don't know. But let's see what this thing is going to trigger for us. 5, 4E, and 5 is 6E. So this is what this one give towards give to us. All right, so you can use it as decimal color, you can use your normal what your color convention, or as the case may be. All right, 54C, 54C. Let me see if there's a color like that. All right, there's also a color like that. Let me leave it here. Now the next one, please. Are we good? Are we together? Are we together here? Are we together here?
Yes, sir.
um
Yes, sir.
I'm getting a response here. Get the response here that this call will soon stop. All right, when it stop, I will have to send a link to the platform again. All right, so the next thing I'm going to add here is the widget. When you are bringing widget, what do we call widget? Anything you want to appear in your GUI is what we call widget. Is what Tikitan called what widget. Please, you know that Python can be used for web development, for mobile development, for data science, for data analysis, for machine learning, for artificial intelligence. All right, all of these are what using the different kind of the different kind of libraries in what in Python. And for all those particular sections I just mentioned, they have their separate library that they make use of. Okay, so when you want to do web, you can go and learn Django or Flask, which is also a library in Python. If you want to do mobile, go and learn Kiwi. It's a library in what in Python. If you want to do desktop, you are doing this one we are learning now is desktop and we are using what Tickintown what library. All right, now I want Tickintown said if you are bringing anything to your environment, it is called library. For example, I want to bring in something like a label. All right, for me to bring in a label into my environment, I'll just use a variable lbl. So the next thing that will come after my lbl is the what the label what name. This is the what the label name. The label name that I'm going to use, I'm going to use the label. So the next thing that will come in here is the root. Remember, the root is your what? Your master, which is the window. Okay. The next thing is the text I want that label to carry. This thing is flagging error. Or I want that the label to carry. All right. Let me use from Tickintown. Import Tickintown as tk. Import Tickintown as tk, so that I'm going to use tk here. So it's going to be tk dot. I think I will be fine like that. Then this one is going to be tk dot. All right, this one should be fine now. All right, so what I'm going to, please mute your mic, equals to what I want to carry. Let's say this is a sign up page that I want to build. A sign up what page, sign up. So the next thing that this guy is going to carry is going to be the background color, because now if you try to run this, not that nothing is, your application is not bad, you can see that no error is applicable, your application is not flagging any error, you are still good and fine, but you will notice that the label is not going to appear on your widget, on your master, okay, on your window. Why? You make your your label, your widget to appear using your what? Your geometry. You must have geometry your widget for it to what? To appear. So Tickintown has 3 geometry. Oh, we are still here. Tickintown has 3 geometry. We have the one they call the park geometry. I'm going to just type it here so that we have the park geometry. All right, we have the park geometry, we have the place geometry, and the last guy there is the what? The grid what? Geometry. All right, but I'm going to start with the park geometry with you guys. So the park geometry, for me, this guy to appear on my window, on the parent, on the window, I'm going to use LBL. The name is called LBL dot what? Dot park. LBL.park bracket open and what? And close. LBL.park bracket open and what? And close. So you can see the label will pop out now on your widget. So it should appear on your widgets on your window now. Still loading. So you can see the sign up that I put there. So I just did that for you to know that it's working. So I can do other formatting on it. The formatting I want to bring in here now, like for example the fonts, I can change the font to something that I want. If I put it in brackets, I can pass in 3. The first one is the font which is, I'm using sans serif. All right, let's use sans serif. Then the next thing that should come is the size. The size I want to give this guy, let me say 20. Then the next thing is what? The bold. Probably I want to bold the font because that is like the head. All right, if I save this and I run this again, you see what will pop out on your master there, or your window now. It's going to be bigger than it is what before. All right, it's already up now. You can see that it's bigger than the way it is before. But what you now notice again is that this color, the default color of the background of the label is still showing. So you can change the color by yourself. All you need to do here is called option that is called FG. FG means foreground or forecolor. Okay, it means foreground or FG. All right. So I'm going to use FG to turn it back to what, to the color that we use. This FG color will always change the text color. So I think that is called BG. Call your BG. So because I want to change the background color, not that text color. I want the background color to carry the same thing with this guy here. I'll just paste this on there, and this will be what, fine. By the time I run this, the background color will be the same thing with the color of the what, the background of the what, of the master. You can see what we have there. So the next thing I'm going to pass in here, I want to bring out uniqueness on my heading. I can say underline. I can pass in underline and make it what, like let's say if I give it 5, if the letter is up to 5, you see underline on the 5th letter. All right, if the letter I type sign up, I think is more than 5, I should have, look at it, it's coming on the up, the upwards u, the u letter. Okay, so that's what that one is, what that is doing. All right, for that. So please, let's take note that you must pack your widget before it appears on your what, on your window. This line 8, you must geometry your widget before it appears on your what, on your window. Let's take that home. Okay, let's establish that it is compulsory. Now the next thing I want to bring in is that we are actually looking at designing an application that people can be used to what, to sign up. All right, to sign up, like to register into a, to become part of the world user of your application. Now lest I forget, you notice that I hope this call is still on. So we notice that this thing is appearing on this side. You can actually shift it to be at the center of the screen. So the next thing, that's why I wanted to bring in the other parameter that you need to pass in. You bring in a plus. All right, you bring in your plus. If this one now, if you look at it, the measurement is coming from what, from plus is what, you are moving from the left to right. All right, you are moving from the left to right. I also moving from what, from top to what, to bottom. If you are moving from left to right, that is what, X. If you are moving from top to bottom, that's what, Y. So if I say 300 plus 0, look at what's going to happen. Oh, I'm saying, oh, give me 0 to the words, to the right. So you see that this application will move. You can see it move a bit to the other side of my screen. So if I turn this guy to be 500, if I turn this guy to be 500 and I run this application, it's going to move 500 from the what, from the left to the what, to the right. So this one now appear at the window of my what, of my screen. Please, question. Let me give room for question. Question, please. Question. Or mute your mics and ask your question.